Beautiful. Hey guys, well, I'm really excited. Today we've got two international players alongside me. On my close left is Icing Tee. She's a Malaysian international and not a traditional, a modern penholder player. And to my far left, I've got a defensive player, again, Malaysian international and 2 times national champion, senior women, Alice Chang. Try and focus on the backhand there. Stop. So, if you saw carefully there, guys, the way she is gripping the bat is slightly different to a normal shake hand grip player. Secondly, the contact is a lot thinner compared to a normal shake hand. Normal shake hand is either more through the ball, or unless you're spinning. With her, all the time, you're kind of spinning the ball. It's very, very difficult to drive through the ball with the new, modern penholder grip. Okay, so let's quickly focus on the backhand, particularly with the modern day penholder players. If you notice, they hold the bat upside down, so this way, rather than a modern traditional shake hand. Now with the shake hand, you've got slight varieties of grips. And it's a similar kind of concept when you're talking about pen holders. So you may notice with me, when I hold my pen hold to do my drills, which I don't play like this, but when I do it, I kind of either put my fingers there or I stretch my fingers out, depending on what I'm looking to do. Now, T over here next to me, or Icing Tee, she has a bit more of a unique grip. So let's have a quick look. So if you just quickly show the camera. So notice the gap here is quite big. By the way, she also has a gap with her rubber just there. And that is probably to do with grip in terms of comfortability. So, I mean, I could be wrong there, but I'll ask her in a minute and we'll give you a proper answer. Now, notice at the back, her 3 fingers rest on top of one another. And that's quite interesting. The middle finger is quite stretched out with a little bend. And then you've got the 2 other fingers that rest on top of it. And that allows her to feel comfortable when she's flicking the wrist on top of the ball. So as we discussed with the forehand side, the grip, you can either have your fingers closed or open. Again, it's personalized according to what you feel comfortable. But what you noticed here, what I mentioned a minute ago, is that there's a small gap here. Now, T just explained this to me, that the gap here is for a comfortability and positioning of the thumb. So you can almost get your thumb in the same position every time, and therefore you don't have to think too much. It goes into almost like a glove, and you put your fingers in the right place every time. And with the fingers, depending on you personally, you can either have them open or closed. It's up to you where you feel comfortable. Okay, so if you notice with the backhand, it's quite unique with a modern day penholder grip player. So if you could just demonstrate a little bit of the action, nice and slow. So notice here, stop. Notice here, the wrist is cocked inwards. The angle is virtually parallel to the ground. And then when she goes and plays the stroke, go ahead, it finishes on a 45-degree angle. And then she flicks the wrist out. So it's wrist in at the beginning, and then the wrist is almost dead straight at the end. And that gives the ball the spin that she requires. Ultimately, when you're playing this backhand stroke, fine timing is really, really important. Because you've got your fingers here, then you've got a smaller space to hit the rubber. Therefore, you have to be really, really honed in terms of training this, and don't think it will come in one day. You have to practice it over and over again to get the right timing. And then after a while, hopefully you have a beautiful backhand like Miss Aixin Tee. And one last aspect. Do not have your legs like mine. Bend your knees and make sure you can use your legs, especially when you're doing the top spin. You will notice how Icing bent her knees and exploded. That generates the power. So a huge part of a modern day penhold player is footwork. If you don't have immense footwork, you can basically say goodbye to your game, unless you're willing to be a very, very good blocker. But a modern day attacking player has extraordinary footwork, so we're going to demonstrate to you over here with a Falkenberg first exercise, and then we're going to do forehand, forehand, and you'll notice how the speed of the arm and the speed of the legs all work in harmony. Over to you. And stop. Forehand, forehand, please. A little bit wider. Yes, yes, yes. Nice, nice. Okay, and stop. Okay, so as you may have seen there, the footwork is essential when you have this kind of style of play. The secret here, very, very important, if you, can you just hold this please, like this? Thank you. If you, hold tight. If you're moving with your feet, you do not want your feet to leave the ground for too long because you're wasting time in the air. You want to try and keep your feet very low to the ground, whether you're moving big distance or whether you're moving short distance. It's a low foot to ground distance, not a big distance. Because if you, for example, if you're jumping, that time in the air, you're wasting. You want to try and stay low, and therefore it gives you the ability to be super fast, like Mrs. Icing Tee over here. So, and the last key element of being a good penholder player is using the table to the best of your ability. And this is where players such as Tee have a fantastic ability to place the ball almost wherever they want with precision placement. So I placed the cups here. Let's have a look how good she really is. And we're going to give her a test. She's going to play her forehand top spins, and the aim is to try and go down the line into the crossover, which is a left-hander, or crossover right-hander, and wide cross-court. So you've got these placements, and hopefully we will see some magic. Well, that was quite cool, Icing, although I think I could have done better, no problem. I hit every single one. 1, 2, 3, 4, easy for me. No, the truth is, all these things, like I always say, takes practice. These two are professional players. They both play internationally. They train a lot to have these skills. So please be aware that you have to put in the work to enable yourself to do these kind of things. So let's just quickly think about why we do these things. Why do we need to move fast so we can get to every ball and then play high quality balls? Why do we need to place the ball nicely? Because then we make it difficult for our opponent, and then we can follow up with aggressive shots and continuously put them under pressure. And why do we play a backhand like this? Well, if you're a modern penhold player, if you play a bit, if you remember David Tan and you're playing backhands like this, which is the traditional penhold, you are a little bit limited. Nowadays they've evolved, and as you can see, Icing's got a wonderful backhand which you can put as much spin and as much energy as a traditional shake hand grip player. So all these things are really important for your game, and be aware that everything takes time for you to make these things at a high level like this. So thank you so much, Icing, for showing us how to hold the bat, how to play the backhands, the top spins, and Alice for feeding. So thanks again. Ladies, thank you.